Today's message from Reverend Christian Sorensen and guest speakers Rick Merica and Reverend Robyn Holt was recorded on December 3rd, 2017, and it's titled, Dreams Do Come True, Affirming I Live My Dream. Also shared today is the dream that came true for Rick and Robyn as they moved to Sydney, Australia to start there a center for spiritual living. And today we welcome back the spirit and talent and exceptional voice of Whitney Shea. Come visit us at our shiny new website at seasidecenter.org or join us in Encinitas, California sometime, where we always have great music, a spirited message, and a joyful, loving, vibrant community that await you.
This morning is a little bit different than our typical order service because we have a power couple here at Seaside that have been part of Seaside for almost a decade now who have caught a vision of starting a center for spiritual living in Sydney, Australia. And so we watched these individuals move through the classes, become practitioners, and Robyn Holt going through the School of Ministry. And Friday, they're taking off to Australia to actually start that community. And so I wanted us to have the opportunity to love them up, give them a huge send-off of support. But also I want us to see that this is a community we're going to be supporting on the other side of this world, on a different continent, with our prayers, with our energy, with our tithes and resources. And so I want us to just have a deep connection with a sister center on another part of the world. And so to really get this morning moving at a little deeper level is Rick Merica, who is, as we have known around here at Seaside for the past couple years, as board president. The one who stepped in when we needed a new roof and somehow helped us, along with the board and all of us together, to raise $100,000 to put a new roof over our head as it was leaking rain in July, which was probably a miracle unto itself that we had rain in the middle of a drought, but not in a sanctuary. And so we got a new roof, and then it followed up by putting up the solar panels, organizing that. So we got a $100,000 roof, $150,000 worth of solar panels. We got $250,000 sitting up there. And this is the gentleman that assisted us in that, and it is now producing or saving us close to $1,000 a month in our energy bill. So that is a beautiful legacy for sure. He is probably most proud of, though, beyond those accomplishments, is his consciousness as a practitioner. He has been a pillar of the spiritual support of our community and really close to me, a dear friend. So my heart aches to watch him go away, but it's my joy to just, Rick, come on up, share a few words, and just love you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Good morning, everyone. What a great introduction. You kind of set the stage for maybe what I need to say or shouldn't say. As far as what I shouldn't say, Christian and I consulted during the break, and my instructions were to do a testimonial. And he said there's a difference between a testimonial and a life story. So the first service got life story, and what you're going to get is an edited version with all the good stuff in it that's going to be shorter. I promise. So anyway, the kind of the theme for the day is dreams come true. And when Robyn and I got together in 2006, we had some dreams about some things that we wanted to do. And in that period of time, what we thought was going to work did not work, not even close. So long story short, we arrived here in Carlsbad, California in 2007. We found Seaside in 2009, and we found the education opportunities in late 2009, 2010. And as Christian said a minute ago, that we pretty much both immersed ourselves in what was available here and what we could learn. And the learning was always with the intention of for both of us, really, anytime someone would ask me, why are you in this class and why are you taking this, my answer was always the same, because I wanted to raise my level of awareness or my consciousness. And I wanted that awareness and the difference to be, for me to be more sensitive to when spirit shows up and I can actually feel it sometimes. And that has worked. Not every day, but it has worked. Much better than in the past. So I'm a bit of a salesman, actually, here at Seaside, because Seaside does so many great things. Education is only one of them. One of the things that I'm going to miss a great deal is my relationship with Ray Holder and the men's breakfast group. I would tell you guys, if all of you gentlemen in the audience, if you haven't taken the time to maybe at least have one breakfast with the men's breakfast group, you're missing a big opportunity for camaraderie that's really quite extraordinary. You know, we eat good food. We got a couple of cooks that take care of it for us. And we show up. We have great conversations. We usually discuss some science of mind principle. And it's very powerful. So I would encourage you guys to at least try it once. And if it's not right for you, that's understandable. But Ray has done a tremendous job over the years. When I first started joining the men's club, I think there was only 6 or 7 of us, right, Ray? And now it's consistently above 20 or 25, or I think once we even had 30 or 31 people. But this teaching is powerful, and those of you that have done foundations and have the Science of Mind book on the front of it, it says that it's a philosophy of faith and a way of life. The philosophy is about the principles that Science of Mind is founded upon. The faith is the belief in, for me anyway, the faith that those principles are true and accurate and will support me in however they need to. So it's easy to, from that point on, once you believe those principles, they become your way of life, and they give us tools. And that's what I think Seaside is so powerfully done, for not only myself, but for many others, is that they give us tools here with all these great teachers. My goodness, we have Reverend Christian here teaching classes. We have Reverend Kathy Hearn as Dean of the School of Spiritual Leadership right here at Seaside. The opportunities here are just unbelievable and endless. So the education, I think, is what really makes Seaside work. And Reverend Christian does a terrific job of making sure that classes are available here always. So it's those things that will improve tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day after that. So there's a little book I ran across earlier, just recently actually, I think it's been around for a while, by Ernest Holmes, and the title of it is It's Up to You. Sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's a powerful little book, and I would recommend that anyone take a look at it. But immerse yourselves here. Have breakfast with the guys, take a class, and really enhance the experience of what this wonderful community is going to be all about. And I'm not only going to miss the men's group for sure, I'm going to miss this, because this has been my community for a number of years now. And it's going to be hard not to walk in here next Sunday and the next Sunday and the next Sunday and the next Sunday. But our growth here is going to come from what Robyn and I are going to do together, and use this as that vehicle to kind of launch us forward in a big way that we know how things are supposed to look and feel in a CSL center. So for that, I'm very grateful. So let's just take a moment and move into prayer. Just relax. Just feeling that energy that surrounds you right now. That energy that is the presence of Spirit, the presence of God, the presence that brings with it everything. All the love, all the courage, all the compassion, and the understanding and the support for whatever step we want to make. So I know that within that energy, I am a part of all that is and ever will be. I know the thing for myself, and as I know it for myself, I know it for everyone here present today. That there is no boundaries and there's no limit on the expression of Spirit and what Spirit can do. We just have to listen, go to that place of stillness, and just experience this magnificent energy that is there and available for us at all times. It produces our dreams. It produces those relationships. It helps us find ourselves, and in finding ourselves, we find others. And the community grows in support in ways that are magical. And so very, very important. As we become better, once we get to the realization that this is true, that it's all here for us at all times. I think about all of this and I become so thankful and grateful. Just grateful in the knowing and the understanding of being a little sensitive to this power that surrounds, that never takes a day off, and is here all the time in anywhere we go. It's in our breath. It's in our life. And just knowing this is true, I just gratefully turn all these words over to the law of mind, God's law, God's Spirit, knowing that as I do, that it is already done. And so it is.
Good morning, Seaside. Give it up once again, Rick. What a beautiful word. Good morning, Seaside. Well, it is my honor, as it is every Sunday, to introduce our guest artist. Today, we have a very special guest, personally, a dear friend of mine, and we're both so busy around town. So I love it when she comes to Seaside because we get to at least hang out in the morning and share music together and with you. So I wanted to announce also, so a little sidebar, but related. As singers, we're around town, we're always doing cover bands and we perform other people's songs. And of course, Christmas songs are also that way. But to be able to finally get something down that you record, and, it's such a big milestone for singers. And so I'm so happy to hear and so proud of her that she's recorded a big band Christmas album and has a CD release party on December 14th at the Queen Bee, which is in North Park. So if you want to check that out or get more information, check out her website, whitneyshea.com. So and she's going to start us off in this beautiful month of December with some Christmas tunes. So she's going to do a song, so please help me welcome Whitney Shea.
Well, good morning. All right, hope we get you moving today. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, clap your hands. Hang all the mistletoe. I'm gonna get to know you better. This Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how much fun it's gonna be together, yeah. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright. Oh, we're caroling through the night, and this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Ooh. as I look around. Your eyes outshine the town, they do, yeah. This Christmas, the fireside is blazing bright. We're caroling the night, and this Christmas, oh, will be a very special Christmas for me, yeah. Shake a hand, shake a hand now. Come on, Bob, what you got? Come on, let's go to the seaside. Fireside is blazing bright. Oh, we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas, oh, will be a very special Christmas for me. Yeah. Ooh, shake a hand, shake a hand now. Merry Christmas, Seaside. Happy holidays. Hey now. Ooh, thank you so much.
That is Whitney Shea. Congratulations, 14th new album. That's exciting. Big band, Christmas tunes. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, hey, this morning's message, I've asked Robyn to share a bit about her dream with all of us, and I'll have her stand up here in a couple of moments. But I want you to know I picked the title for this morning, Dreams Do Come True, because it's very special to me. It's the title of the first talk I ever gave as a minister in Ventura when I was 22. It was the title of the first talk I ever gave here at Seaside in the first Sunday in September in 91. And so I thought it was a wonderful gift we can give Reverend Robyn as her first title as Reverend of the First Sydney Center for Spiritual Living. And But also, it's an important part of Seaside. You know, we are about inspiring people to live their dreams. You hear me say that week after week after week. And it's when you have a dream that you're able to move through those tough times and those difficult times. And a lot of things that Seaside does is help individuals when they fit the rough times in their life to just maybe bridge through that. Eleanor Roosevelt said the future belongs to those who can believe in the beauty of their dreams. And sometimes we get hit and forget what our dreams look like. And so what's happening next week is Seaside is participating in the rotational shelter for those that are without a home here in North County that had something bump them off their path of a life that was working and find themselves homeless with the family, with the kids, or what have you. There's this rotational shelter that moves these families through different spiritual centers or churches, and Seaside's next week. So if you want to get involved with that, we're assisting families with that. Also, in terms of dreams, Disney said that dreams belong to those that have the courage to pursue them. And so sometimes the families here in North County, as we heard, 1,500 families won't be able to experience the holidays. You heard that wonderful skit. What we are doing is collecting the blankets and the toys and the jackets to assist families so they could actually get a shopping cart. It's called the basket program. People think of a little holiday basket. It is a shopping basket. They get to go shopping for food. So I'm just very proud of the things that Seaside does to assist people to remember the joy of being blessed by the possibilities that reside there. And so today we have an individual who's been part of Seaside, as I shared, for almost a decade. She is a force of nature. There is no stopping her when she gets her mind fixed on a dream or a possibility. Robyn Holt caught the vision of the School of Ministry a few years back and entered into the school and never wavered from the concept of taking this teaching to be the first center for spiritual living in Australia. And I'm very proud that she's coming out of Seaside, which is why you've heard me commit saying, you know what, Seaside is backing you. You are our sister, and I want everybody to come to know you too. And their newest minister, their only minister to date in the whole continent of Australia, is coming out of our family right here from Seaside, our very own Reverend Robyn Holt.
Well, if I didn't feel any pressure before I came here today, I certainly do now. I'm going to try and get through this talk without crying and without coughing, because one of the things that's coming in for me is I really don't want to say goodbye. So my throat and my voice are letting me down a little bit right now. But don't worry, I'll be good. Spirit's here and away we go. So I love the topic of this talk, Christian, and thank you so much, because it will be the first talk I give in Sydney, because I'll have a whole heap of things to tell people about, including Seaside and how I came to be a minister. So it's going to be a great story. But the very first dream I ever had, I was 9 years old. And I was sitting in the school assembly at my all-girls school in Sydney, and up on the platform was a beautiful young woman. She was about 18 years old. Her name was Margaret, and she had just come back from spending a year as an exchange student in the United States. And I'm like 9 years old. I'm looking up at her, and I just simply said, that's what I'm going to do when I'm her age. And I never questioned it. Like, the commitment was there right from the very, very beginning. So, 16, 17 rolls around, and I did have to kind of do some swift talking of my father to get him to sign the application, but I got through that. And it was a sort of a round robin, so you had to go through 5 different rounds of interviews and what have you. So what I'd said to my dad was, well, there's 1,000 students that go for this scholarship and only 100 get it, so I've got like 1 chance in 10, so don't worry, Dad, I'm not going to get it. And he believed me. What kind of father is that? Anyway. So it gets down to the 5th interview. And so I didn't know this, but somebody was working behind the scenes to make sure my dream came true. Do you remember the quote from a man called D.H. Murray? And you're probably very familiar with it, maybe not so familiar with his name. He was part of the Scottish Himalayan expedition, and he was the one that said that beautiful quote, until there is commitment, there is hesitancy. Right? Remember that one? I'm not going to read you the whole quote. But somewhere in that quote, it says, and when you commit 100%, providence moves with you. Okay? So remember, we know what providence is, don't we? It's spirit. It's God. It's the divine intelligence of the universe just aligning with you to bring you. So let me give you an example. I'm only 16, 17 years old. I didn't know anything about spirit, God, what have you, at that time. So behind the scenes, what I didn't know, and I didn't find this out until years later, that the headmistress of my school kind of had written a somewhat ambiguous report on me. Imagine that. Anyway, and what had happened is that there'd been 2 of us applying for the scholarship, and she clearly wanted the other girl to go, and therefore not me. So one of the members of the selection committee took it upon herself to go visit my headmistress and sit down with her and say, some of these things that you've said kind of don't jibe with what we know about Robyn. So she said, so let me reassure you, there's a very high likelihood that both Robyn and Jenny will go on this scholarship. And what would it be if instead of having 1 student going from the school, you get to have 2 students going? So guess what? My headmistress changed her tune like that. So I got to come to America when I was 17 years old. That's another story, long, long, long time ago. But that started my love affair with this country. It's one of the reasons why I came back here to spend the last 25 years of my life. I think I told my dad, again, that I was only coming for 6 months. Anyway, he didn't need to know. Anyway, and I didn't know that I was going to be here for 25 years. So now I have another big dream, and one that I'm sharing with Rick. And it's so much more fun to share your dream with somebody else. And so we are 100% committed. And now I feel a lot of pressure in addition to being really committed. No, that we're going to be fine. Because already in Sydney, people are showing up. Money is showing up. I mean, I just know that Providence, Spirit, the power that Ernest Holmes, our founder, talked about. Remember what he said. There's a power for good in the universe and you can use it. I absolutely, fundamentally, down to the little pinky in my feet, know that that is a true statement. So we are just going to keep following and putting one foot in front of the other, because I know that already for years now, since we first had the dream, Rick, which is what now, 4 years or so we've been working on this dream, that it's already in God's mind, in the mind of the universe, it's already been created. And all we have to do is just keep doing the thing, doing our thing. Anyway, so we have a saying in Science of Mind, and I hope many of you have heard it. It's called treat and move your feet. Anybody ever heard that? Okay. So that's the one thing that I found by finding this community and this philosophy that made a big difference, is because 25 years ago, we were recently just on the big island of Hawaii last week, and 25 years ago I did a very powerful 2-week workshop on the big island, and it was called the Business School for Entrepreneurs. And it's kind of like one of those Tony Robbins, you know, it was actually Robert Kiyosaki, the man who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And at those workshops, and don't get me wrong, it was a very powerful, very positive experience. But they have a tendency to kind of pump up your dreams. Pump, pump, pump. Okay, got a big dream, go for it. And so they pump up your dream, and then it's like they let you loose. And you're kind of left there going, okay, I have a big dream. Now what do I do? So one of the things when you say treat, we have an expression called a spiritual mind treatment. That's what we call affirmative prayer. Well, I like to include also the visioning, the spiritual tool that we have of visioning, the spiritual tool of meditation, the spiritual tool of prayer. Because before you move your feet, you have to treat. You have to slow down enough to allow Spirit to speak to you. Because what direction do you know to go in? See, that was the thing, that when they pumped up your big bubble and your big dream back in those workshops and things, they don't give you any clues on in which direction to go and what to do first and what to do second. They just say, move your feet. Well, for a lot of people, moving feet look like just a little mouse going around in a little wheel. So what I know and what I learned in the last 9 years of being associated with this philosophy is that I always have spiritual tools, and I always do my work first in my mind, in my heart, and in my soul before I move my feet. And if I'm a type A personality, I want my feet to be always moving. And so when we were in Hawaii last week, my 2 favorite creatures on the planet are a dolphin and a giant green turtle. So guess which one is treat? The giant green turtle. Because have you ever watched them? They don't do anything. They just kind of sit on the sand. And then when they're in the water, have you noticed? Have you ever swum with a giant green turtle? They swim very, very slowly. So that to me has now become my kind of symbol for treating, is when I slow down. And even when I slow my feet down, sometimes I have trouble slowing them down completely. So maybe I need to do a labyrinth walk or a walk on the beach to do my meditation or to do my visioning. But I slow down. Because until you slow down, until I can slow myself down, Spirit can't speak, because I won't hear it. Because if your feet are moving, you're making a lot of noise and you're just being busy. So one of the things I know, and I encourage all of you, just like my husband did, to learn and take classes and do the things that teach you how to do these things, these visioning and spiritual mind treatment, all of the things that give you the spiritual tools to make your dreams come true. So you'll never be spinning your wheels. And, of course, the moving of the feet, the animal that, of course, totally epitomizes that for me is the dolphin. Because that's what I'm creating when a pod of dolphins in Sydney. We're all going to be swimming together. We're going to jump through the waves. We're going to have fun. We're going to be in sync with one another. Because that's what you want. You want people who are playmates. So I'm going to Sydney with my number one playmate just to create a whole bunch of other playmates who want to play and learn something really amazing that's going to change their lives. Oh, and one last thing. So, when you're pursuing your dreams and you've treated and you're moving your feet and having a blast, remember that you have an invisible hula hoop around you. See, remember, Hawaii theme today. Hula hoop, right? So what do you let inside your hula hoop? Only the good things. You let inside your hula hoop the people who support you and love you. You let inside in your hula hoop only positive thoughts. You let inside your hula hoop only all the good that you know exists that will help you achieve your dream. And what about all of those other things? The naysayers, the criticizers, the whatever, you keep them way outside your hula hoop. And if they come pressing on your hula hoop, do you know what I mean by that? If they come pressing on your hula hoop, you just say, I'm sorry, I have an imaginary hula hoop and you're not allowed inside my hula hoop. Be gone. So, here we are at the end of our time as members of Seaside, but we'll always be members. I'm so grateful to Reverend Christian, who actually sowed the seed on me becoming a minister. I said to him one day about 4 years ago, Christian, I'd like to move back to Sydney, but there's no centres for spiritual living in Sydney. And he said, well, you'll just have to become a minister and create one. And he has been my strongest supporter, even when I was shaky, not exactly knowing whether I was going to get through ministerial school. He and Dr. Kathy Hearn and Reverend Tammy and Callie and Reverend, there have been so many people, and plus all the practitioners and so many family and friends. I mean, we feel like this is our family, and it's with a very, very bittersweet thought that we're leaving. I know that I speak, well, obviously for Rick as well. And so I just want you to know that all of you, because you're here and you've created this community, have been just a huge blessing to us. You've given us way more than we could have ever given back. And we're grateful for all the things we were able to give back because we did it lovingly and wonderfully, because we knew we were supporting a community that is so rich and so full of love and support. So from the bottom of my heart to each and every one of you, please hear that I say thank you for being who you are and for being part of this amazing community. Thank you.
And Reverend Robyn, it's just our joy to cheer you on as you go over there and you follow. Like Colin Powell said, dreams don't become a reality through magic, but through sweat, determination, and hard work. And it sounds like you've got that one figured out. Like Gihil Gibran also said, follow your dreams, for within them is the gateway to your future. So continue to follow your dreams. Know that we're praying, we're loving you up, and want to give you a gift from Seaside, a tithe in support of your ministry that's going on over there. And know that we will continue in some way consistently to support your work and your vision, for we know you're part of family and we love you.
Thank you.
And congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
You can stay up here.
Get used to it.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe can help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh, and every mother's child is going to spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you.
That is Whitney Shea. Thank you for that song. Just taking us right into the season, just the nostalgia and just it's beautiful.